Hello and welcome to an alpha preview of 0.7 of RPG Tycoon. I am Matt and I'm the developer here at Skatanic Studios, and I'm really excited actually to show you this because I've been working on it since, well, the last update went out at the start of June or end of May, and went down really well with you guys. I'm really grateful that you enjoyed it, some of the changes there. And basically this update has been a kind of management update to try and build upon what was introduced with that. Now, one of the biggest things that I want to mention is as soon as I released that update, I went straight up and updated the back end of the game. So I've actually updated to the newest version of Starling, which means a lot of things. One of the most important things that I'm really excited to tell you about is scroll wheels now work in every single part of the game. That's one of the actually most exciting features for me, because it's something that was driving me absolutely nuts and I had no idea why it wasn't working. But now you can use your scroll wheel anytime you see a scroll bar, it will work, and that's huge for me. As you can see, I've also updated some of the loading screen stuff just to make it look a bit better. It should kind of fit with most resolutions now as well. And yeah, I'm going to jump straight into this actually because I want to show you something really cool that I've worked on. So I'm going to load a previously saved game, and boom, look at this. So we have a world and we already have adventurers wandering around. So if you've got adventurers in your kingdom, when you save, it now completely remembers where they were and they just go back to functioning exactly how they were when they saved. So it took me a few minutes, I say a few hours the other day to actually get that working. It was infuriating. I went to lunch and then I came back and then like an hour later I managed to crack it, so I'm really excited to announce that. Something else which is pretty, I'm literally just going to run through a few things here and continue to play because there's something else I want to show off. And this is going to play underneath me. Hopefully this will be quite quick because this isn't a massive feature driven update. There's just some cool things that I've added in, and I kind of want to do that from now on. I want to try and update kind of once a month now with rather than lots and lots and lots of new stuff, just kind of trickling in new features, hopefully. Something else I've also added in is a save confirmation thing now, so that you can't actually load previous saves if it's going to cause a corruption, because people were having issues with loading like old save games, and I said in kind of the post that it's always worth starting a new game whenever there's a new update. So there's now a bit of confirmation in the game to stop you from being able to do that, just to kind of save the game from breaking in front of you. But one of the really cool things that is great about this new update is that building has, like, the building tools have been, well, the building backend has been severely tweaked. So you won't have any time I've played this now, from load saves and everything, there aren't those really annoying red squares everywhere. So if you can see an empty space, you can now build in an empty space. So there's no annoying kind of ghost squares or anything like that. I've also actually back-end wise, again, like I said, this really is like a massive optimization update really. Is that this building size scaling thing is now completely dynamic, so it actually works out based on the tiles that you can scales the size of the, whoops, that was completely accidental. I guess she's gonna I just crushed her, that's an issue. Well, there we go. Yeah, so there might be a few bugs still left in this, but I'll try and tweak them out before this update goes out, which should be out by the time you're watching this video and should have fixed some of the things that we might encounter during this video. But yeah, so building sizes and things like that are now completely dynamic, which is great optimization wise, because it cuts down a lot of code. This is going to be all over the place really. You might have seen one of the new decorations that's in the game is these stocks. I don't know if we've unlocked them, but there is also, it's here, there's also a gallows which you get at level 6, which we can actually try and do right now. Let's grab our heroes. Who have we got? I'm just showing loads of things, trying to things are appearing, and I kind of want to show them off. Yes, we have a new hero character. We have Teddy the Tough. He is a brute character, which is naturally stronger by nature, so I really like him. He's probably now my new favourite design. Fun fact, I was on the train to London and I designed him entirely on the train journey and then got really excited because he looked great. And there's probably a few other things you're noticing, like the hover over things now as well. I've also just improved hitboxing and stuff, so you can click on things a lot easier now, like buildings and stuff. They actually are much more accurate. That's just going to reel off the list of all the new things that I'm kind of trying to point out. But like I said, like it's not a massive feature update kind of driven thing, but there is new stuff. So that's right next to the food cafe. There is also a bakery, and oh, actually, yeah, that's a good point. So let's send them out on a quest. We'll do an epic quest for now. Let's send Phil, Teddy, Iris. We'll keep. Who are you? Carl. We'll keep Carl. We're normal. We'll explore. Stuff is costing money. Okay. There is a few things actually that I'm going to try and show off. But as you can see there, yeah, the kingdom kind of loads straight in with all the adventurers still intact, and just kind of continues from where you left off, which should help a lot of people. I think this is now a long game. There was a bug that was stopping you being able to play like longer duration games, so that's fixed. If you kind of get worried about things being, let's just click that, hidden behind stuff, you can now just click this, and it will temporarily hide buildings, so you can see behind things if you want to spend some time doing some design, and then you just pop it back up again, and they'll pop back into place. That was actually suggested to me, or that type of hiding buildings was suggested to me by someone I met at Res. So if you're watching, thank you for that. I can't quite remember who, but I just remember it being mentioned to me, and I was like, yeah, that's a cool way of doing it. So I did. Oh, that's this. You should be able to hear some music in the background now. I've just added in a nice little music manager into the options menu, where you can decide what track you want to listen to. You can skip through tracks and listen to the brand new track that's coming with this update, which is Striking Out, just one of Chris's tracks, our composer on RPG Tycoon. And yeah, he's really proud of this one. I really like it. So let's sit and listen to that. But yeah, you can sit and enable different tracks and kind of customize the in-game playlist, basically. Right, they're on my quest. Cool. Okay, and we have, let's pop a road down. Do we still have, yeah, okay, we still have a store. Okay, there's some cool new things that I've added to stores that I want to show you. Basically, each store now has an attraction rating, and that's based on everything that's around it. What this means is, let me just finish that quest. What this basically means is that if you tend to place other stores next to each other, they'll actually get a boost for being next to each other, and the output of those stores, so you see here, you've got, let me just click that, you've got an environment boost because there's some decorations around it and another store nearby, which means that it's naturally going to be a bit more attractive, and therefore the outcome is going to be slightly higher. So the more things you kind of build around each other, the better of a boost you're going to get. So if you, for example, if I place a tree down next to the bank, it will get more appeal, and adventurers will naturally go and visit buildings with a higher appeal first. So if there's specific buildings that you want to kind of push adventurers towards, I have now just blocked them off. So we'll fix that. Sorry, Teddy. But yeah, if you want to kind of direct an adventurer towards specific buildings, basically you can kind of decorate them up a bit more, and they'll be much more likely to go and visit that building. Similarly, if you connect the building's front up to the front, you get a connection bonus. So there's now more of a reason to actually build a road to that store, and you get more of an appeal and an environment boost from connecting buildings to the main road network. So there is that. Right, and similarly, I have now actually managed to add in a right-click function. There isn't actually much that it does at the moment, but if you are to right-click on your hero... Oh, no. Wait, no. Okay. Doesn't quite work 100%. Let's, right, there you go. If you right-click on a hero, you will open up the new hero menu, which shows a brief overview of their stats, equipment, their general condition. You can actually now set the health recovery and fatigue recovery limit. This is global, so if I want all of my heroes to recover when they've lost 50% of their health, I can just set that. You don't need to accept it or anything. And they will now naturally go and recover themselves more frequently. But the same amount of time is taken to recover. So that's the kind of thing you pay for. So if you want them to recover really frequently, then you're losing out on actually using them more often. So it's a kind of balanced thing there. Obviously, yes, you can do the research to kind of lower their research time, but still. So I just right-clicked on a building, and that takes me automatically into demolish mode, and I can demolish a tree. One of the issues that demolish mode had before was that it actually didn't allow you to click on any square of a building that already exists to demolish it, but now if you kind of hover over any square that that building is on, it will notice that it's a building. I've kind of anchored all of the nodes to buildings basically to be able to do that, which is part of the kind of smarter building mechanics that are in place. But yeah, so if you ever want to demolish anything, you now only have to kind of right click on it and then just hover over the building that you want to get rid of, and it will tell you in text basically what you're kind of demolishing over. And again, you can use the hiding system to do just that, to make yourself kind of see things a bit better. So you just hover your mouse kind of over the node. I will improve it a bit more in the future, but it's a feature that people have asked for, and you know, I am not one to not deliver. I'm not one to... Oh, never mind. Right, we need to get up to level 6, so let's do that. There are still a few things that I'm working on, but hopefully they'll all be in place by the time I upload this. I just got really excited and wanted to show it to you. And I'm really happy with where it's at. And basically the whole point of doing these kind of smaller updates now is just because the game is in a reasonably good place, and I feel like I can do this now, and I can introduce new features and kind of trickle them in. So that kind of really reiterates just kind of where we're at here. I'm just trying to look through my list of everything else that I've kind of done. Again, a lot of it's all balance based and kind of bug fixing. There's kind of a lot of bugs that I've addressed with saving and loading, and being able to manage tracking things. I have also, I don't know if it's going to happen, but I've actually changed the sound effect that's in place whenever a message pops up. I don't know if I can, I guess I can, if I quieten down the music, you should be able to hear it when it occurs. We'll get one eventually. As they return, I'm sure we can trigger one off. We'll just wait for that to happen. But yeah, so it's kind of more of a management, and the whole attraction thing actually kind of adds a lot more strategy to it. I really like it. It's one of the big mechanics that I just thought, huh, that's cool. Actually, you should see there that there's this thing that says unattended and a little arrow next to it. Oh, there you go, that was one of the new... You just had that kind of dunk sound. It's a bit more subtle, less in your face, and so you don't have to kind of... You won't be kind of annoyed every time you see a message appear, hopefully. I like the messaging system. It's a good way to deliver information to the player. I know they're quite abrupt, but toward this sort of stage of the game, they become less abrupt. And again, hopefully, with a bit more of a subtle sound, they should be a bit less intrusive. Okay, what's just leveled up? So the bakery is leveled up. Right, okay, let's click on the bakery. Oh, it's got... Oh man, it's got 13%. Cool. Okay, so I think I've still got... Yeah, I've still got Carl in... So if I actually attend, and I choose Carl to go and attend, he will go and shopkeep, basically. You can see he's now heading there, which also adds a boost. You see it's gone... It was 13% before, it's now 14%. So because he's only a level 1 basic shopkeeper, Blumenek, that's a lot of stuff. So that's... Oh, good, let's do that again. Go back on a quest, you lot. How are you all doing? You're fine. Okay, cool. So... This game is all over the place, I am aware of that. There's a lot going on at once. But I like it, it keeps you kind of going. But yeah, so the longer that Carl's in there, actually, the better that he's going to get. So as he gains more experience as shopkeeping, and the more you kind of set your hero into shopkeeping roles, for example, they will efficiently boost. This kind of came off the back of one of the reasons that I didn't want you to be able to do like loads of quests at once is balance, essentially. So I wanted to kind of, and it's something I've always wanted to do, I wanted your heroes to have more of a role within the actual kingdom itself as well. And this is one of the ways to do that. And I think that if you necessarily hire all your heroes, you could essentially not quest and just man all of these shops with heroes if you wanted to. And I think that's a really cool mechanic. And I think it's an interesting way to kind of manipulate your adventurers into doing things. Hopefully I'm going to earn enough money to show off. I think I have got enough, actually. I don't know. Yeah, I have. Cool. This is a new feature, the Event Plaza, which I want to build and show. So I'm going to... How much is it costing me? That's going to... Okay, well, I need to... There we go. Right. So, let's plop down the plaza. Boom. This is the biggest addition to this update, which is the Event Plaza. Which we are going to connect. Blip blip, like that. Okay. And this is basically a new way to kind of play some things in the late game. We don't actually have any heroes available at the minute, so we'll wait for them to get back from their quest before we can do anything. But it's very, very cool, and I do like this. Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. They're back. Lovely. Let's show... Okay, right, we've got them back now. Now, hopefully, their mechanics... Yeah, their conditions... Okay, so actually, just to show that off, her condition is reasonably well, but if I set the health recovery limit to, like, 10, I'm worried, actually, because I don't want them all to go and recover themselves. Which they might. I'll set it to 41 and see what happens. Okay, there she goes. She's going now. Hopefully, she's now going to go to the clinic. There you go. See? So you can kind of have a bit more control over whether heroes will or won't heal themselves. And let's pop that back up to like 80%. Cool. Right, now, Carl, you can stay in there. Right. Let's show off the plaza. So if you click on the plaza, there are 3 types of events that you can host. These 2 will unlock as you create more events. So the more events you do, the more you'll get access to the other things. And each event gives you a bonus during the period of the event being in place or afterwards. So I think the picnic gives you a bonus of happiness or something afterwards. And I think the circus gives you more attraction after the event has been in place or during the event. So, but the jousting tournament here will increase prices by 10% of all stores when you're hosting your event. So this is the hosting cost, but it's actually, I need to change that tooltip because that's the maximum amount you're going to spend on the jousting tournament. It's your kind of max budget. So if I click host event, oh, I need to fix that as well. You pick out of the heroes that you have free. I'm going to make Philip part of the managing and planning committee. The more you spend, the quicker things or the easier things will be done, so the less kind of things will get cost, but obviously you're using up your heroes for the duration of this time. Now, I don't want a massive budget on construction. And the less you spend, actually, the better. So I'm not really going to spend much. It will just take some time. I can't remember. I think it takes about a minute. The more you spend on it, the quicker it will do it, but then the less money you have to do everything else. And you don't want to spend all of your construction, all your budget on construction. So Iris is still healing herself. You can see, so it takes a while for them to heal themselves. So you don't want them to go really early and then spend like 2 minutes healing. I think it's about 90 seconds. And this is constructing. I haven't quite decided whether I like this or not. They kind of raise from the floor, but I think I'm going to add in, by the time you watch this, it probably won't look like this. I think I'm going to actually add in construction tile on top while this happens, because it's a little less. But I like it because it slowly builds up to the actual thing, but then the pieces side of things doesn't look great. So that will probably change. There you go. So that's nearly done. So look, oh yeah, planning progress is nearly done. This might bug out. I haven't completely tested this. Okay, so it's done. Now it waits for you, so it won't do anything else until you continue And then this is the next stage. So basically, right. This is okay. This is gonna be complete. Right. So this is now a massive problem. We don't have any influence over these settlements. So no matter how much we spend on them, we're not going to be able to convince them to come to our event. So let's do a quick quest with Teddy. Okay, they're happy, so they should. I don't know what's a good quest for them. I'm just going to click a bunch of things and hope for the best. So now we have to wait for Teddy to do his quest in order to raise at least a little bit of influence so that we can convince someone to come to our event. So events are really only worth holding if you have a good amount of influence over a settlement. That's... Oh, I'm so bad at this. I don't care for my settlements at all. You should. You should. I think that's going to be one of the new things I also add to the next build after this one goes up, is one of the new features that I've implemented, which are jobs. So our attraction rating is 63. Now, one of the biggest things people kind of had an issue with the last build was that they didn't want to kind of constantly be forced to place decorations down. Now, that was kind of one of the reasons why I've added in the attraction rating to buildings, is so that you actually have an upside to putting decorations down into your kingdom. But should you get to a point where you actually want to just spend money instead, you can set a hero to patrol your kingdom and start generating attraction. So for a small amount of money, I don't know how much this costs per turn. It will tell me in a minute. Hey, have we got any influence? We have a little bit of influence over Freakwood. Great, okay. I'm going to send him straight back out on another one to get that influence even higher. Go back to Freakwood and do it again, and then we'll go. And so there you go. So it's 75 gold to get a slightly bit more attraction. And she's just going to keep going until I tell her to stop. Now, similarly, I'll probably make that I'll make another job where you can use your heroes to kind of keep the attraction rating for small amounts of money. And it basically, again, it just gives idle heroes something to do should you need to, and it benefits you and your kingdom. So we'll stop her doing that now because I don't want to spend loads of money. And yeah, this is all exactly what I'm kind of trying to do. Let's put her in there for now. It just adds more, more depth to things. And oh, level 2 ranking. Look at that. There we go. Hooray! Right, we've got enough influence over there. That'll be fine. Let's do that. Okay. So there we go. We can spend, and it will show you roughly based on your influence how much budget you need to spend to get them fully hyped for what you're trying to do. So I think we'll just do about that much. There we go. Okay. And then Philip goes away to the settlement, and away he goes. Dun, dun, dun. Where's he going? There he's going. And he'll go and generate some hype, and then he'll come back when he's generated it. And at the minute it doesn't, but in the next kind of day, I'm gonna, well, by the time you're watching this, adventurers will actually, if they pass by, will actually cause hype to be generated as well, because obviously they all come from their own settlements, and they'll be like, oh, this thing is being built, and then when they go back to their settlement, and that just seems to make sense. So not 100% of the hype will be generated from visiting settlements. So you'll have to rely on having a pretty high attraction rating and having people in your kingdom walking past. So, for instance, if you have a highly attractive shop beside your event plaza, then you're going to have a lot of traffic go past and generate more hype. So that's definitely something that's again, I'm trying to add more strategy and more kind of mechanics into the Tycoon simulation side of things, which has always been my goal, really. I know that's been the kind of shallower part of the game, and so I've wanted to keep developing that. So here we go. We're about to start the event. So again, it just waits for you to click on it, and based on the amount of money you've spent, that's your expected turnout on the hype, and you can lower or raise your ticket prices, and the game then shows you roughly how much money it thinks that you're going to make based on these statistics. And usually it'll always kind of stick at the main average. So what are we, 23.33 for 6 gold? So there we go. Let's do that. And because we haven't spent all of our budget, we're then going to get a profit. If we'd have spent all of our budget, we probably wouldn't made. But then again, it's dependent on how much influence we have over our settlements, things like that. So you don't make massive amounts of money, but the boost of having stores the price of stores go up by 10% during this is kind of where that goes. So it's really about the boost that the having an event actually gives to your kingdom. And again, like it's just more kind of things to do once you get to this later game. We're making a good amount of money. I could expand actually. Do we have some other things? Oh no, we're still not level. Oh, we're so close to leveling up. Do we have any items I can use? Oh, we have cheese. Okay, let's use cheese. I don't know how well that works. Yeah, okay, that's an issue. Right, we can use a vase. Let's use a vase on the bakery. Boom. Let's make the stock value loads. Do that. There we go. Make a crap ton of money from the bakery. Boom. 750G from the bakery. Solid. Benefit of using items on stores there. So yeah, I've rebalanced slightly. I've improved AI a little bit and the management systems and stuff. So overall, you should notice a positive change with this update. Good lord, that event is still going. Well, I mean, that's pretty much everything covered. I'll try and keep going until the event is over. But, you know, you should be able to see here some of the new stuff. I think, like, some of the ideas I have for the next few things is, again, some more buildings. I try and add at least a few more buildings and decorations with each update. So obviously we've got the barrels and the stocks. I have an idea for a school that I hopefully want to add in where you can actually train heroes from scratch. I think that would be really cool. More hero jobs like this I think would be really interesting. And again, oh, there we go. The event is finished and will now be deconstructed. Your kingdom earned. Yay! And there we go. It starts the deconstruction stage. And it will begin to deconstruct. And it's a cool-off kind of period, so you can't just host loads and loads of events constantly, basically. But yeah, so that's the kind of event plaza system, and some of the new features that are coming. What else? I'm trying to think what else I wanted to talk. I kind of wanted to. Yeah, I think that was it. I think it was just me kind of saying that I'm going to try and make updates a bit more frequent and work. Because you know we're at a good stage with this now, I think. And there's a lot of interesting strategies. So. Yeah, I think that's everything. I'm going to have a quick check through. Oh, yeah, I'm going to be improving the Kingdom AI again. Because at the minute, they only really compete with you on quests. Oh, another thing. Yes, that was it. Well, it's two things, really. I will, at some point, add in essentially what I'm going to call a challenge mode. Whereas you have this kind of open mode at the moment. Where you can just kind of pick. You know, you start. I guess I think it's going to be story mode is what I'm going to call it, and this is going to be the main kind of mode, and then from that point onwards, there'll be a secondary mode called challenge mode where you can pick and choose from different kind of things you need to try and achieve. For example, like have 5 stores that produce a quality of over 25%. By year 5 or year 10 or something, and just different kind of objectives further than these kind of tutorial-esque objectives, so actual challenges that you've got to try and achieve within a certain time period. And I think they'll just add an interesting mechanic to it, but they'll come probably a bit later in, you know, a few months when the game is more towards the later kind of end side of things. And then I've also discovered a way that I may be able to add mod support. Again, because I constantly change graphics and add new features and stuff, I don't want to give that to you now. But post-release, I think, will be when I spend some development time actually looking into a way to do that. So it is something I'm interested in doing, and it is something that I think I found a way to do. But I need to spend the time doing that, and I don't think the game's at a point yet where that's a wise idea. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this update. So hopefully that kind of gives you an insight into what else I'm going to be working on now. More mechanics for things, and just keeping the simulation side of things going, really. Oh, I also want to make epic quests more interesting, and I'd quite like to build a system almost FTL-like, where depending on the party you've got will depend on the outcome of the actual epic quest, so people need to read things, because at the minute you can just kind of click anything and hope for the best. It's a bit 50-50 at the moment, whereas I want it to be much more related to who you've got with you, which I can be doing. It'll just take some time to do. So one of the things that I've mentioned will appear in the next update after this one. It just depends where I want to prioritize my time. But yeah, I mean, if there's anything you'd prefer to see first, let me know and I'll work on that. If not, thank you very much, and yeah, I guess I'll see you very soon. Thanks for the support, I really appreciate it. Bye!